2, 1. And we are back again.
Yes, we are back.
Nate was doing the Buddha pose. I like it.
I was going into
Namaste. So today we have my good friend Hamdy, our friend Hamdy. We've known you for quite a while.
Hello.
Long time.
He's a man of the financial world. Important. I like.
He's a man of many talents, not just financial.
Big time. And then joining us from the Bahamas, we have our other friend, Hassan. I couldn't help it.
Good one.
I couldn't help it.
You like my tropical setting here?
This is what I'm saying.
Where's your pina colada?
Yeah.
You need to enjoy a lot. I have something rather different, but it's...
Looks like apple juice on the rocks.
Yeah.
It is apple juice on the rocks.
No, but all jokes aside, Hassan is joining us from Abu Dhabi through Zoom. Hassan's, business owner, he's going to give us a little bit of perspective on some retail. Again, we've known you for, I've known you since when? Since we were kids as well, right?
Without giving away our ages, probably as early as 1988, 87.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, quite a long time.
Lath I've known for probably about 91, 92.
That's about right.
I know all of us are kids of Abu Dhabi, right?
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
See how I said that? Abu Dhabi. I know how to say it, but I just want to relate to the people. But yeah, we all grew up in Abu Dhabi. Amazing childhoods we had, man.
Loved it. Wouldn't switch it for anything else.
Seriously.
Absolutely.
Hardy's birthdays.
Hardy's birthdays for sure.
Hardy's birthdays.
Dude, we used to live on top of Dairy Queen, which is Dairy Queen birthdays all day long.
Of course.
That's where I learned how to play Street Fighter 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Were you good? Who'd you
Did
play
they have
with?
I was
did they have
alright.
an arcade there?
Yeah, they had an arcade.
They had an arcade, like
Two.
one single arcade.
Two machines.
Two machines.
And they had the OG Street Fighter 2, the one that you have to bang. I don't know if you guys had experience.
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
It wasn't
With the
buttons.
big red button.
You have to punch the buttons.
It struck me as a Chun-Li kind of guy.
No, Ken all the way. Yeah.
Well, you kind of look like a Iraqi kind of Ken doll.
Pretty short, I have to admit.
But
Not in all things, though.
putting the games aside, we were talking about this before we started the podcast, and we were just saying about the craziness that's happening now in
Minnesota,
in Minneapolis, man. It's pretty crazy. Unbelievable, man. I don't even know what to say. Like, what a trip. What a trip.
It is, for sure.
It's 2020, and you got some dude sitting on a guy's neck for 15 minutes.
Was it 15 minutes?
It's unbelievable,
Wow.
man. 15 minutes. Right?
I think,
Something like that, right? Something like that.
I think it was, they said 8, but then they retracted and said,
whatever it was just an obscene amount of time. The guy's sitting there saying that he can't breathe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Where are we going?
It's pretty obvious what's going on. If you're a police officer, and I believe he's a veteran of the police force, he's not a rookie for
I
sure.
didn't know that.
Yeah, no, he's been around.
He's a veteran. You go through training,
Yeah.
so you understand what type of pressure points you're supposed to inflict on people to subdue them. Your job is not to kill them.
Yeah, I get it.
Right?
You have a guy, you want to put him down.
You put him down, you control the situation, and that's pretty much it. There's no way in hell he was knee on the guy's neck for 6 minutes or even 10 minutes.
And the guy is saying, I can't breathe. The guy is saying, I can't breathe.
I think it's an open, closed, shut case.
Well, it's good. They put on charges for him.
Manslaughter.
Third degree.
Yeah, third degree and manslaughter, right? So
That's not good enough.
I don't think it's good enough.
It's not good enough.
I don't think it's good enough.
What's interesting is apparently that particular squad had previous counts for unnecessary
like force,
excessive force,
unnecessary force, excessive force, etc. And so this isn't the first time this particular
it's not even the police
thing.
officer. Somebody shared something on Instagram, and I don't know how factual it is, but he had a detailed list of all the incidents the same officer had.
Exactly.
Really?
He's shot multiple.
He's had a shooting incident. I was reading that. Yeah, I was reading that, which is scary.
Hispanic, black, different all races. And there's a picture of him wearing "Make America White Again."
Oh wow!
Hat.
Wow.
I don't know.
It's sad. It's sad. But at the same time, I'm not surprised because this keeps happening.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
and mainly in the US, it keeps happening and happening and happening.
Well, this is what I was wanting to get to, is that like obviously we identify with it
Absolutely.
with the US, right? In that context, because it's always on the news and it's what we're exposed to a lot. And but where my concern comes is, as an Arab, we are slowly starting to experience that, and we have been experiencing that for quite a while, right? And you can take it in multiple contexts and multiple things. So I can relate to it, and we can at the same time, I have a serious concern about the fact that it's still ongoing and it's 2020, man. Like, guys, you got to get over it, man.
Yeah.
You got to get over some of these weird mentalities that's there, man. It's racist behavior. And then it's the police force, man. These are the people that are supposed to be enforcing. Right?
I mean, I've never lived in the US, but living in Canada throughout the 20 years that I was there,
Never experienced it.
and you can tell, obviously, I'm an Arab. It's there's nothing about me that says spongy cake or Canadian or non-Arab. I never experienced anything like this.
It's completely different. Canada and the US.
But
are not
that's
in the
my point
same
exactly.
ballgame. I
That's
mean,
my
it's-
point
yeah.
exactly. Is that
I've had a few like a fair share of run-ins with a couple of cops that weren't.
but you cannot compare,
necessarily
bro. You cannot
helpful, or one guy tried to hustle me as well at one point. I'll tell you guys. about
Oh,
it.
no way. Tell us what happened. Go into it.
So this one time, actually, a previous guest of yours, Ahmed Habib, the both of us went to a friend's house in Mississauga, in one of these mega structures with these mega buildings. And we were in the parking lot. It was 3 a.m. We left unknowingly, went home. Nothing nothing had gone wrong, basically.
Yeah.
So 7 a.m., a few hours later, we get a phone call from a particular police officer, right?
Okay.
And he goes, "You need to come down right now." We said, "Wait, what's going on?" And they said, no, you need to come down now. And he says, "You guys had backed up onto a parked car." And I thought to myself, I don't remember backing up into a car. Long story short, we ended up going to see the owner of the vehicle, who had claimed that we smacked into his car. We saw the CCTV. I basically kissed the car. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even consider it a hit.
So you did hit the car, though.
It was a minor hit. I didn't know, right? I didn't know. It was so minor. I had no idea.
Okay.
So anyway, so the cop says, "Look, despite this not being my jurisdiction, I'm going to make it a point and make an example of you.
Wow.
And I want to ensure that you guys help this poor man who I had no idea that I'd hit into the car. Judging by the damage on the vehicle, I mean, we're looking at $100, $150. It's like a little touch up on a scratch."
Yeah.
And he said, "No, you guys are going to have to cough up $4,000.
Oh, wow.
Excuse me?
What?
So
$4,000.
So the cop all of a
Yes.
sudden now is like an expert in the cost of repair of vehicles. Really?
Yes. And he said, "We need to take it to a particular garage."
Mm.
So Ahmed and I decided the next morning
Oh,
to go and drive down and find out where that garage was. So we went to the garage, and it turned out, and again, I mean, I don't want to point out, but maybe I need to, is that the garage and the officer had similar backgrounds. Let's just put it that way.
oh wow.
So we think this cop was trying to hustle us, and he eventually hustled us for $2,000. 1,000 of it came from you. Thank you, Namir, because you gave the money to Ahmed, right? And another 1,000
Wow.
came from me. Yeah,
Where's my money?
you're
Whoa,
involved.
whoa.
Where's my money?
You got your money back. I trust me. You got your money back.
Did I get my money
But,
back? I hope I did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Let me check my
And
ledger.
so that was interesting. So that was a kind of a negative experience in which a cop got involved. We got hustled for money we didn't need to get hustled for, and you can tell what happened. He ended up sending that victim of the accident to get his car fixed for an inflated cost, and he probably we know he split
That's insane.
money with
That's
the,
insane.
That's
That's
called
just-
extortion.
Yeah, that's just a gangster move.
Yeah.
That's
That's the
Yeah,
gangster.
it was a
But
gangster
I'm more stuck on the fact that why did I give Ahmed $1,000? What was I thinking? This is a long time ago, right? Because right now, sorry,
Right.
Ahmed, I love you, Ahmed, but I would not give you $1,000 right now, for sure.
Maybe 10 instead.
Pretty crazy. I mean, so you know, when we wanted you guys to come on, right? Other than just having our friends shooting some shit, right? There's some interesting things that we wanted to get out of you. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Tesla, right? And I can honestly attribute the reward, let's say, that I've gotten from doing or investing in Tesla because of Hamdy right here. So he's been pushing me. Actually, he pushed me way before I did it. Even before I pulled the trigger, you kept checking on me and saying, "Did you do it, or have you done it, or did you buy some stock? Just buy some stock, buy a little bit, right?" And and then finally I pulled the trigger, and it's just been unreal. And you own a Tesla as well, right? So
I mean, I think regardless of the stock, right? The point is the revolution that's happening in that space is unbelievable. And the saddest thing is what's going to happen to the incumbents, I think, right? So you look at GM, you look at Ford, you look at Toyota, you look at Mercedes, BMW, they have nothing. They've tried a couple of things. That's true. I think BMW had a headline this morning that they're doing an M5 with 1,000 horsepower all electric car.
Oh, wow.
Due in a couple of years. But again, pipe dreams, right? We've heard a lot of stories. Audi's come out, Porsches came out with one. I think to disrupt yourself is something very difficult for large companies.
And this is it, man. The amount of investment that would need to go in to change their existing infrastructure to be able to mass produce electrical vehicles is a challenge.
It's challenging because the skill set is not there, right? I mean, they look the same from outside their cars, but the skill set that goes in is very different. It's software based mostly, right? You need a good system. Autonomy goes together with it. The powertrain is very different. The chassis is very different. And they're nowhere closer today since this has become clearly the direction we're headed than they were 2-3 years ago. There's been concepts, but there's been no execution.
So what is it that differentiates Tesla than everybody's other than they started?
That's just it. From the ground up,
first
right?
mover. And the amount of technology that they've developed. I think I was listening to Elon Musk mentioning that what you're getting in a car, in a Tesla right now, in terms of its software, is equivalent to $100,000 right now. He's like, so when he talks of the self-driving concept right now, which they're charging, what is it, a few grand? Now?
Yeah, 5,000-6,000.
5,000-6,000. He's saying you're getting over $100,000 worth of technology in that 5,000-6,000 that you're paying for.
Right. But if you're those big car companies, wouldn't you think they're going to start acquiring some of the talent that's working at Tesla? They've tried. You
acqui-hire, you buy startups, but you cannot change the 100,000 employees you have to start thinking, middle management, upper management, to start thinking, let's go this route. This is their bread and butter. It's very hard to self-disrupt. The most cliched example is Netflix Blockbuster, right?
Yeah. True.
Why aren't we watching Blockbuster, right?
Oh man, I miss Blockbuster, man. You just brought me back to the good old days. How much I loved Blockbuster.
The experience of it.
It was exactly
I
the whole
love getting charged every time I needed to. I forgot to rewind the tape. That was so much fun.
Yeah, that was the silliness of it, dude. You're shaking. Why are you shaking? Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
I need to see your hands, both hands.
It's my leg. It's my leg. It's going full cylinders, guys. I'm excited. I'm enjoying the company.
No, but I miss the good old days of Blockbuster.
Big time.
What's funny is that I used to, when I was first connecting with my wife Besma, she used to work at the Baskin Robbins beside Blockbuster, and I knew she had a crush on me. And I used to take advantage of that in my usual way. So I used to get free ice cream. So I used to go grab a movie and then pass by, say what's up, get her to blush a bit and get a free scoop of ice cream and bounce out.
It was a good setup.
It was perfectly set up. It's such a great experience.
Fix all the boxes.
Exactly.
Blockbuster, ice cream, meet the future wife.
But okay, sorry, just to pull it back now to Tesla, because you're saying some really interesting things. Do you think that any of the incumbents will be able to compete, or do you think it's going to be all new entry that's going to come in? So some random company, these Chinese companies, I think, are huge now in China in terms of competing with Tesla.
Short answer is no.
So not the incumbents.
Yeah, most likely not. Historically, the incumbents don't survive when there's a big shift, right? Kodak is one. I mean, there's tons of examples, right? Ultimately, they might just because they're big enough, but it hurts a lot when you downsize. If Toyota is going to go from 30 successful models to 3, that shift might cause bankruptcy. But
True.
with these guys, given government interest, they tend to revive. So they might file for Chapter 11 and come back.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a painful route for them.
Did you hear about that Chinese company that's copying
Yeah, I
the
saw
Tesla?
that.
I saw an
that.
article the other day. It's literally a copy and
Yeah.
paste.
Like what? The looks of the car or?
Everything.
The website, the look.
Everything.
Oh, no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Everything.
Full on.
Full on.
You
You gotta
love
give it to China.
Have you ever been to trade shows where you see? Have you been to a trade show, Hassan, where you see the Chinese guys come and they start taking pictures of the booths?
Yes.
And you're like, oh damn, next
He
year,
just got ripped.
yeah, you just
just got
completely is gonna. That's crazy. So what is it like? Are they? They're not using the same name, are they?
No, not the same name.
Okay.
It's some Xing whatever
Okay.
Chinese name, but it looks exactly like the car.
There's a couple of good American attempts. So one is Lucid, which is funded by the Saudis.
But it's different.
And they're different, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's Rivian, which is funded by Amazon. Amazon is super invested because for them, their biggest cost is transportation, obviously. So if they nail electric and autonomous, they've cut their cost base and put them ahead of everyone by light years. So they bought into this company called Rivian,
okay.
and they're producing Amazon delivery trucks other than whatever else.
saw that.
Yeah.
And I
saw
see that Amazon kind of backed off the whole doing it in-house, right? I was recently, maybe about a month or 2 months ago, where they said that they've decided to kind of step away from really going at it with the US Postal Service and really like traditional couriers because they said it was just costing too much for them to try to compete. So was that part of that strategy?
No, I mean, I think that's just a long-term plan. If autonomy works, I think people have different opinions on
they'll
that.
buy
How
into it.
far we are from it, I think we're a year. People think it's 10. But if it is 2 years away and all of a sudden you fired every single driver you have,
So what, you're thinking what? In 10 years, how much of the percentage of cars are going to be electrical? What do you think?
in 10 years, 100%.
100%?
Yeah.
out of production. So
Yes,
anything coming out of
not the existing
Yeah.
fleet, new cars.
anything coming out of the production line is going to be electric. Yeah, it's possible.
You think so?
I think so.
The tipping point is when they cost the same to produce, which in theory we are there today with the Model 3 from Tesla
Yeah. The Model 3 and the Model Y as well, which is coming.
and the Model Y. $35,000 car with a 20% gross profit margin that competes with the similar car from internal combustion production.
I think you'll still have fossil fuel vehicles after that point, but it's going to be one of those
it'll be a niche.
outside of the box
Yeah.
purchase.
Yeah, like a
911.
classic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you want to do a
classics.
911, you still want to have a proper engine.
Exactly.
It'll be a small market for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's no reason to produce internal combustion cars if you can produce an electric car for the same cost.
But it's not about the car, it's about the infrastructure in each country. So can you deliver electricity and charging stations?
That's it. We're at this stage now. I think it's available.
You're in Dubai.
Yeah, true.
It's a good
True.
point. It's a
You're
good
in
point.
Dubai,
So
right? It's different.
Yeah. So maybe I'm referring to the US or Western Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So
but
that's what you
it'll
mean with
take
the
longer.
100%.
Yes. I mean, you're
surely,
right.
surely it takes a lot less time to put up a charging booth than it would to build a petrol station. So I'm assuming that you could replicate that model of and spread the amount of charging stations throughout a country quite rapidly. I mean, that's what I would.
Fair point,
I would
yeah.
imagine
There
so.
are countries that have issues with accessibility to electricity. I mean, look at Iraq in the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't have electricity, but you could fill up your car. And
I think
easily,
Iraq
right?
will be the last country to introduce
Yeah,
electric
no, I don't
vehicles.
think that's Elon Musk's plan.
They will get it. They will replace the electric engine with a motor diesel engine.
Retrofit it to.
I have a question for you, Hamdy.
Yeah.
So what is Tesla's end game? So is it
Rule the
that they want
world.
to dominate the roads and streets with Tesla vehicles, or is it to sell their software as proprietary and sell it to third-party companies? I mean, is there a future for Audi and BMW and Mercedes with proprietary technology that Tesla would provide? I mean, is that on the cards for them, or is that what they've always strived towards?
No. So there's no scenario where Tesla would provide their technology to GM and Ford.
And why do you feel that? Wouldn't it make more sense for them?
Because they're
to
already
actually-
making better cars than the guys that have been doing it for 100 years.
I mean, I mean, but you can make so many more cars, and
No,
you
but
can
why
make
give
so much more
why
money
give
in the
why
world.
give away your technology? Why give away your secret sauce? Right? You don't need to. You don't
Well,
need to.
You can have a closed system. It doesn't have to be an
But
open
I
system.
personally, from my view, where I think the advantages of Tesla is not only are they creating the electric vehicles, but they're creating the infrastructure to fuel to the fueling stations, right? So they are the largest producer of those electrical stations that you're talking about. They have the largest network in North America. They've positioned themselves very strategically in that regard. And then I guess with some of the technologies and some of the information that they have in terms of like Google, right? In terms of mapping out and I think that may be something that they will sell, right? In terms of a software that you can upload in your other vehicle is whatever information that's been gathered by all the millions of Tesla vehicles that are out on the road. But I don't think they're going to sit there and say, okay, here's how you make our batteries. I think that's their secret
That's
sauce.
proprietary.
Right? Yeah, that's
I
proprietary.
mean, they can sell the battery, they can sell the technology, not necessarily allow them to change it or modify it. But wouldn't it make more sense? I mean, this concept that we're going to live in a world where all we can see are Tesla Model Ps and Bs, and I mean, that doesn't really sound
Don't get
very
me
No,
logical,
started.
does it?
there's for sure going to be competitors.
Surely once we get to a point where we have full autonomous vehicles and we can guarantee that Tesla has the most advanced brain or neural network, then we'll be in a position where the rest of the car manufacturers will be in line to use that technology.
I think where it
Because
gets much more interesting is not Tesla versus GM, it's Tesla versus Uber. This is where the conversation gets interesting because car ownership is almost out the window in 5 years. If you achieve autonomy, the car gets commoditized. It's no longer interesting. In theory, you just want cars sit idle 97% of the time.
Yeah, so the
I made
concept
up that
of
number. But
mobility as a service.
mobility as a service. So
Yeah.
the point is where it gets boring for Tesla is if they're just producing these commoditized plain cars, and the real benefit is to Uber and Lyft and Kareem, right?
Yeah.
It's
Which I
not
think
to
it
them.
actually is going to happen, though.
Unless they manage to pull off that end of it, the robotaxi software.
Which you think are they working on this? Is this
They
something
are, but I only give credit where I've seen the product, which is why Tesla gets credit for the electric car and the autonomy because nobody else has a product. But Uber gets the credit for the robotaxi application because they already have the clients and the customers, right? Producing it is not difficult. Getting it used is difficult.
But can't you foresee like a collaboration? And it would make sense. We give you the hard vehicle that you need to see your millions and millions of passengers.
That's called being an OEM supplier, which is not where the margin is, right? So in theory, if Tesla lose that battle, they become a producer of a car that's being sold to Uber that has the massive balance sheet, takes them on, and they lose the margin battle, essentially. This is the question. The other conversation is not as interesting, right? So ultimately, is it Toyota? Is it that? That might become less interesting because the car is no longer a desired product the way it is at the moment, right? It's not an aspirational product.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's not a must-have.
Why would you, right? I mean, you'd rather, again, pay $10 a day and use it whenever you need it, comes pick you up, drops you off, than have it parked outside and deal with.
True. Especially now, think of it in the current times, right? Like if there's ever been a time that owning a vehicle makes no sense, it's right now.
Yeah.
You're using it a fraction of the amount that you're using it before. Everything's working around delivery. And the concept of imagine, the only issue I see to counter that is that I look at Ubers now as the worst case scenario that I would want to interact with a vehicle because it's a public vehicle, right? It's public transport as far as I'm concerned, right? Multiple people coming in, and then you have all this contamination, cross-contamination kind of issues. That would be the only negative. But other than that, owning a car now, like if I had car payments, we were talking about this, and I was saying like, own my cars now. I've paid them off, and I have no interest of getting a new car. And this is the time where I'd be like, I would hate myself right now if I'm sitting making payments and having my car parked up
outside.
Yeah.
Like,
Depreciating.
Yeah, exactly. Just depreciating for the hell of it. Would you ever get an electric vehicle? I've never asked you that. Do you like Teslas?
I love Teslas. Definitely. I would definitely get an electric vehicle, specifically Tesla.
I'm so sold. I'm telling you, man. Hamdy just, I drank the Kool-Aid of Hamdy on this Tesla thing. I'm super convinced that this is the future and the performance.
I'm excited to see the truck in real life.
It's unbelievable. Did you
saw
see the
the
Jay
Jay
Leno
Leno
episode?
I was just going to say
you put a deposit on one,
Yeah.
right? What about you, Hassan? In Barbados, do you think electric vehicles have a place?
I mean, I'm an advocate of electric vehicles. I mean, it only makes sense. We move with the times, and there's a better way to deliver power, and that's through an electric vehicle. There's no doubt about that. I'm just kind of beginning to sit on the fence of whether the Elon Musk kind of persona is superseding what Tesla has
We like to
become.
call it a religion, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know, and this is the
Without
thing,
a
this mainstream pop
without a
culture,
doubt,
pop culture.
yeah,
Um,
unbelievable.
So the fact that we're all talking about it, and the fact that we're here discussing a world where only Tesla exists, it scares me, to be honest. And I'm excited about what they're bringing in terms of autonomy, like self-driving vehicles, and obviously the different batteries and ways of storing power. But again, I'm not too excited by what it's also presenting in terms of mainstream pop culture and this false idea that
do you own an iPhone?
Organically driven company,
Hassan,
by some master genius.
Hassan, do you own an
So I
iPhone?
have
Do you own an iPhone?
do I own? No, I have made my switch to an Android recently.
Oh no way, okay. Because I was gonna
Yeah,
make
yeah.
the relation to a lot of people when they have this, they say this fear that this one company is gonna come dominate, and a persona is. I always relate it to Apple, right? Like Steve Jobs is the, let's say, the mold for this Elon Musk kind of character, right? So people were following Steve Jobs. You were one of those people, right, as well, that would always watch the launches of.
I still do.
It's unbelievable, right? But he's
What's the new guy called?
exactly. I was just about to say, what's his name?
Tim Clark.
Tim Duncan?
Tim Duncan.
Kawhi Leonard?
Is it? No, it's it. Tim
Tim Cook.
Tim Cook.
Tim
There
Clark.
it
Who's
is.
Tim Clark?
Yeah.
Tim Clark. I don't know. I think it's a shoe. Isn't it a shoe? Clark? No, Clark's.
No, but you brought up a good
Tim Cook?
point. So if we get on the GOATs conversation, Steve Jobs and Elon Musk supersedes Steve Jobs.
Very recently.
Not. What do you mean? No, whoa.
You can't say.
What do you mean, bro? The guy. Hold on a second.
That's like
Okay, put Tesla aside. All right, let's put Tesla aside.
SpaceX.
SpaceX, what NASA's been trying to do for the last.
Did
what?
they do it? By the way,
It's in 4
The
hours.
weather- And it's in 4 hours.
It's in 4 hours. It was
Okay.
delayed. Yeah, I think he's way ahead on the technology front. I'm not discounting the fact that Steve Jobs revolutionized the whole entire multimedia, phones.
Come on, man. I think Elon Musk has yet to prove what Steve Jobs has done. Done.
Absolutely.
He executed it. Steve Jobs took a device that was so basic and made it not just a part of you. It's like it's the
It's an
way
extension
it's
of who you
it's not only an extension. It's you, and every piece of information that you ever get now comes out of that. You spend 80% of your time.
I see
looking
your
at this
point. I
device.
see your point.
Good.
So I
doesn't
I
have
feel- I feel
But it stops there. But it stops there.
Progress.
It does stop there, but dude, that evolution, you can't underestimate. It's as if if he's successful in doing what Hamdy's saying, right, which is in 10 years' time, majority, let's say 80% of the vehicles.
Think of the
are
impact on the
electric.
environment that the electric vehicle will do, not just to the user who's using the vehicle.
The
but
point is we're in the potential phase, right? Like
Yeah,
we
we
see
still
it,
haven't implemented it.
It's
yet.
not there
Yeah.
yet. I see it, and I see it getting there in 5 years. Once it's there,
for sure.
he will overtake. It's
But-
a fair point.
Yeah, but look at what again.
So
just
who's
to
the
kind of- To reiterate, no,
Elon.
No, to reiterate the point, I don't think you can compare the two. But what I'm saying is that Steve Jobs is proven, right? Imagine
100%.
now you didn't have the technology that's available in an iPhone or that was developed through iPhone.
Android.
Well, look, Android exists because of the iPhone. They've taken a model and they've created a cheaper version of it.
I want to say cheaper.
I would call it cheaper. I'm not a fan of Android for all. By the way, I'm gonna put it out. I have to
When was
always.
the last time
Haterade.
No haterade.
Haterade.
It is. Look, it's not intuitive. It's not intuitive at all. Android is very customizable, and I give that to people, right? But by no means is it user friendly, and that's where my problem is, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's the same argument somebody can have versus, Microsoft versus Apple, Mac versus PC.
Absolutely, it's the same concept.
It is exactly.
He
lot-
creates
everybody-
closed systems, right?
Yeah, everybody tells me, oh, once you switch to a Mac, you'll never go back. To be honest, I never given it 100%. The Mac transition, I've stuck to Microsoft. I love the fact that I can do so much on a PC.
I mean, I think Windows is unusable.
It's funny you say that.
You're the other.
No, it's funny you say that because I'm an Apple, like a fanboy, an Apple fanboy. All my devices are Apple except
Laptop or computing.
Yeah.
PC or computing. I do not know how to function. I've had a Mac. I've had multiple Macs, and I still find them extremely unintuitive, which is funny. It's opposite of the phone, right? I just don't know how to interface with it. I just got so used to Windows.
Yeah.
And I think it's just kind of like corporate in the finance world where they drink champagne for lunch every day, right? And
Not
they
every day. but-
popping bottles and eating caviar. MacBooks are very normal, but in traditional corporates, it's not so much. So,
But Linux, you use Linux, right?
Yeah,
That's-
which is why I associate with the Mac OS because it's based on Linux, which is
Yeah.
much better.
That's the third dimension for us. That's
Yeah.
like, would you be able to use Linux as a
I-
OS
you're talking to the most untechnical.
for an
You'd have
average?
to get no.
Yeah, we'd get lost.
Yeah.
I mean, Red Hat is pretty
Oh, there he
pretty
is.
usable. It's user friendly.
Oh my God, I
There
haven't
you
heard
go.
Red Hat in like 20 years.
There he is.
Yeah.
That's,
What do you
College-
mean it's
college
good?
days,
You can
college
use it.
days.
I still have a shell that I run that's Red Hat Linux.
that's really cool.
What's a shell?
Yeah.
A shell of what? shell of yourself?
By the seashore. That's-
What? A shell? Explain.
He is in the Bahamas.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have to make draw comparisons. A shell is just Hamdy, please. Computer science needs to kick in.
I'll let you run with this one.
Put me on the spot, bro.
Yeah, explain. I want a definition. Our users deserve, our subscribers and our viewers deserve.
Shell.
Shell. Okay, all right. So should we move on?
I'm not sure I can give you an accurate definition. So at the risk of sounding stupid, I will pass on.
Well, on the note of stupidity, no, I was gonna kind of segue into one of the main reasons why I wanted you here, right? And other than the fact that I really enjoy your company, is I'm really interested in seeing or getting your view on what you think retail is going to look like now with all the different things. Because of your experience in retail, obviously, you had quite a sizable company, was quite successful in the UK. Where do you think? Because in the last episode, which hasn't been put out yet, and hopefully you guys will get a chance to see our episode with John St. Valerie. He's the chairman of the British Business Group here in Dubai and the Northern Emirates. But we kind of touched on this concept, and I was saying that I feel retail is going to be more of an experience. In terms of physical retail, like you go to the mall, it's going to be to go to the mall like an amusement park, to go see a shop, experience the shop, maybe see the things that you may want to buy and then go home and order it online. I think that's how.
But that has massive repercussions, right? I mean, if you're a big brand, you can still justify your Dubai mall H&M.
True.
But are you going to have the smaller mall one?
Well, this is exactly, and this is what I'm saying.
It's a real estate.
I would love to hear what Hassan has to say about this, right, from his experience. Yani, what do you think? Where do you see retail going now that COVID kind of accelerated this change, right? This digitization, I feel. What's your feeling?
I mean, well, retail is going through some seismic changes at the moment, and without understating, it's cataclysmic. So we're at a stage where you have an aggregation of factors, right? And
sorry, I'm gonna have to pause you. You just used three very big words in a row: cataclysmic,
Oh, okay.
Catastrophic.
seismic. Bro, keep it simple. No, I'm just joking.
Sorry.
Sorry, I'm just being an ass. Go ahead.
So basically, it's an aggregation of factors. It isn't just the one factor, which is, oh yeah, Amazon has come up, so brick and mortar is doomed to hell. They're done. Or the idea that COVID is there, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, there are several factors that play into this. I think the way people shop has changed. I think since 2008 and the initial recession that we had, people have become more cost sensitive. People are looking to compare. And obviously going online, that gives you the medium to compare prices, et cetera. But more so, I think there has been a lot of saturation in the market. And we've seen this, you go to local malls, you go to large malls, and they're within, I'm speaking in places like North America and in Dubai, etc. And stores are oversaturated. You don't need to have as many H&Ms across one particular city. Yeah. And it kind of takes away that feeling of scarcity. The fact that maybe I want to have that experience of going somewhere and purchasing that product that nobody has access to, or very few people have access to. So that again plays a role, oversaturation. You also find that with social media and globalization, it's become a lot easier for entrepreneurs to make brands. So there's this rise of new brands, indie brands, hipster brands. And what's happened, it's an oversaturated market has become even further saturated with all these new brands coming in. So I can start a t-shirt company in 2 weeks. You can start a makeup brand company in a few weeks. And what's happened is it's yet again become oversaturated. And so if you have a look at retail, and I'll ask you this question, take a pick and try to remember a retailer you used to buy clothes from or any other things in 1995. Are they still around?
Club Monaco, I think, is still around. If you shout out to the Toronto Square one, it's barely around. You're absolutely true.
Like an indie store now.
Yeah, I haven't seen we remember how popular it was, right? Everyone had that Club Monaco sweater.
Absolutely, and that's how retail works. It's incredibly fickle, and it goes through changes every decade or so. So add that factor in. So we're beginning to see some of the legacy brands of the last 10 years kind of fade away. New brands are coming in, but it's the way that the brands are coming in, which is the big change and the big shift. Long gone are the days of the distributor and the wholesaler and the franchisee and so you're eliminating a massive chain, a supply chain that has been crucial to the retail industry. Brands are going direct. Brands are picking to go directly to their customers. They're speaking to their customers directly. They're engaging them directly. They don't need these middlemen.
But aren't the aggregators middlemen? Like, if you're, how popular is it to buy directly from?
How many aggregators are there? I mean, this is the next question you need to ask yourself.
Amazon is an aggregator, right? Or
Noon
is an aggregator,
Yeah, no, but that's just a couple. Like, if you really take a step back, each country, each region, a maximum, how many do you have? 4 or 5? Like, I think US, Target, Walmart.
But you just replaced
Amazon.
The big brand, Debenhams and Harvey Nichols with large aggregators online. Have you done anything different?
No. But this is where my question. This is what I've gotten from what you're saying, and I think it kind of, maybe I'm hearing what I want to hear, but the way that I see it, I think these small, as you call them, indie stores or hipster stores or individual kind of pop-up shops. I think that's the future of retail, is that every Joe Schmo can go on a Shopify, set up an account, and within a week have a very personalized, set up individual brand, Facebook ad, be in your face, and all of a sudden you're buying it. And he doesn't need the store, he doesn't need the physical shop, he doesn't need anything like that. And that's what I'm saying, is that I feel like malls ultimately are just going to be like an amusement park.
But that means we need a lot less of them.
I don't
Yes.
think to be honest, I would say sorry. I would say I don't think you need less of them. I think it's just going to be each one is going to have to find its place on what the experience they want to give you, right? So you want to go to Dubai Mall because you want to go ice skating and you want to go have Cheesecake Factory, and then you go to Emirates Mall because you want to go skiing and you want to do something else, right? Like,
Does F&B change? I mean, before we were looking at a shift from clothing shops to F&B within the mall, but now that we've psychologically gotten used to ordering a lot more, everyone has in the last couple of months. Does that affect the trajectory of F&B's penetration within malls?
I think, in fact, that it supports it, because again, it's all about the experience.
Yeah.
So we're living in a culture where it's, as they say, all about the gram, right? I mean, not the grams we know, but the new gram.
Yes.
Right. So the new gram is all about sharing your experience with people, sharing the fact that you have a personalized experience, a personalized item that you've purchased, a unique item that you've purchased. And that's what it's about, right? So, I agree. It's going to be more of the thematic approaches to leisure, and it's a leisurely experience. Absolutely.
This is what I'm saying. And you're talking about, is the F&B going to change, right? We all have a short memory, man. Once the vaccine comes out, once all this is set to the side, people are going to go back to their old ways, right? We're all going to go back out, interact normally. I don't think that's going to change. So I think if anything, like you're saying, I think F&B becomes even more important in that setting, right? People want to just go and have other experiences, you know.
I mean, I had just a recent experience with my watch experience today. I've been eyeing this watch that I wanted to buy for the past maybe 2-3 months, doing my research online, trying to get as much information as possible, reading reviews, watching videos. It's a very technical watch, so I want to understand what it does.
Yep.
Which watch is it? You got to show it.
It's the Phoenix 6X Garmin watch.
Very beautiful watch, man. I like it.
But so today I made the decision. I'm like, okay, I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm happy with this watch. It's on discount right now. It's felt like the right time to do it. I was this close to hitting buy from the supplier to deliver it within a day.
I know where this is going.
And I thought to myself, I'm like,
why don't you physically go get it?
Pick up the call. Not why. I knew why. I still wanted to feel, touch, wear, and see the product before
on
I
your
purchased
wrist.
it.
Yeah.
On my wrist. Mind you, this is an expensive purchase. It's not a t-shirt. It's not a pair of shoes. But I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm still going to have to go into the store. And there are things that I want to see, feel, touch, try before I buy. And there are things that I'm willing to risk.
True.
Something, whether I like it or not, whether it's exactly the same thing that I'm envisioning it is. So I don't think it's going to go away.
So I don't agree, right? So obviously there's an element of it, but I bought a car online. And who would have imagined that? Not to tie it back to Tesla, but it's the last thing I would have imagined.
But you sat in a Tesla.
But
I had
exactly.
You'd never sat in a Tesla before. You never.
I think that was a very unique. I think that was a very unique purchase. Because even that's exactly what you're saying is exactly how I'm saying I envision.
So you go try it in the store, but then you still order it online because you might get a better price. You might get
exactly.
Sure, if those things are there.
Yeah.
So it's a showroom.
Oh, this is exactly it. So you go to a store. So all of a sudden now stores, retail shops don't need to hold stock anymore. They just need to have one size of everything that they have. And it becomes an experience. You go in, you know, they treat you, they make you feel special. They give you some sort of, you know, motivation. They get you loyal to that brand. You go, you try it on. Great. Okay. You want to order it right now or you want to order it when you get home, sir? It becomes like that. You can click a button while you're there and then they'll deliver it the next day. Or you go home and, you know, you think about it and you order it in a day or
So you're
two.
absolutely right. But what you're saying has massive implications.
Without a
because
doubt.
you're talking about company-owned showrooms that are cost centers. You're not talking about profit centers that are owned by third-party franchisees.
What you're
Dubai Mall is a cost center. Dubai Mall is a cost center for most.
Exactly.
You're right. You're right. High Street, Oxford, Fifth Avenue.
I would just tell you what it would do.
It goes off the marketing budget.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It is on a P&L. I think what would happen is it's no longer a revenue generator. It's just a marketing expense. And then you just have a central pool within that country, that region, that city, where you have one massive warehouse. I think companies become much more efficient. You have one central warehouse that does all the distribution, whether you're working with a third party or you're doing it in-house, and that's it, man.
What do these SMEs do? The
Exactly.
mom and pop shops.
Exactly.
No, the mom and
They
pop
didn't-
shops, we just said it, right? The mom and pop shops have found their place because they no longer need that physicality of a store, because e-commerce is becoming more accepted, more normalized. How much stuff, like I love, and I think you guys have seen it hopefully throughout all the shows, and if you guys want to go and flick through the shows, I'm huge on like funky shirts, like whatever, a Bob Dylan shirt, a Muhammad Ali shirt, or whatever, and all of these purchases that I'm doing are all online. I'm not going to traditional stores, right? I love that variety. I love that, as you said, Hassan, that feeling that I have something that very few people have. That kind of speaks to me as I feel as an individual, as much as it's
it's a different shopping experience for sure.
So,
the excitement of it coming home, you receiving the package.
No, but the excitement of knowing that when you're walking out, I didn't buy it from H&M, I didn't buy it from Nike, I didn't buy it from so and so. I'm wearing something that I know I'm not gonna run into, and if I do, it's a very unique chance of that happening, right? So
Interesting.
So I think there is a place, but that's what I mean is that at the end of it, I feel like e-commerce is just been like e-commerce on steroids, right? Because of the experience that we've had right now. Everything has just gone that way.
Because we broke a lot of psychological barriers, right?
Exactly.
I mean, online groceries accelerated in an unbelievable way, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would have always thought, I'm not going to order meat online. I'll get Tide online, right? We were getting meat online.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't going to get fruits, right? We were going to get stale items like cans.
Yeah.
But then you start getting it and it works. Like, okay, I'm going to keep doing this.
Exactly.
And then we've done the same with certain clothes. We've done the same with a lot of things that we've never done before. Ordering food online. It used to be pizzas and burgers.
Yeah.
Now it's everything.
I
Now it's
ordered
literally-
Zoom online.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. It's
And I
literally
had it,
everything.
and it was good.
Yeah.
So
It's
we've broken a
literally-
lot of psychological barriers, and we'll revert back to old habits, but not 100%.
True.
If we go back 70, 80%, there are repercussions. There are business opportunities,
True.
and there are losers.
No, I think right now, real estate has probably been the number one industry that's been hit. And I'm talking
Commercial and office.
exactly all of it across the board, outside of residential, which depending where you are, if it's oversaturated or not, blah, 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 if there's a future, that's separate. But I think commercial, as you said, and office space, it's done. Like
I think the future is hot desks,
retail, yeah.
and you do like a 50-50 time split. We've proven that we can be productive from home. No one knew. I didn't know if I was going to be productive from home.
True.
And my story is I am.
Yeah.
So moving forward, if we're allowed that flexibility to be 70-30, 50-50, you keep hot desks and you downsize the office space and you save money.
True. And I think this goes out to all the corporates, I think. Like, I think what you guys have realized, I hope that you've realized, is you can save a lot of money, right? The productivity is there. And as you said, it's been proven. I think it's been proven at this point. And ultimately, I think you have a more productive, I feel as the productivity has increased.
Yes.
Right? So I don't know. That's the feeling. What do you think?
I mean, I think, well, it starts off, I mean, the initial spark that or the positive thing that I can take from this is that we are changing potentially the work culture from a micromanagement culture to a macro management culture, which is more goal oriented. And that really helps in defining how we go forward. And like Hamdy said, if we can be left to work on goals, particular goals, I think we can achieve it in any way we find suitable, as long as we achieve it in the time that we find that's been agreed, but what's suitable for us as well. So I'm a big advocate of this, and I think that we could potentially see this roll out globally.
And the quality
and
of life improvement is tremendous.
Yeah.
Right?
But Hamdy, we had a chat about this, remember, about how we can hire developers in Estonia that are actually employed by the technology company that we own.
Absolutely.
And so forth. And that's a real game changer. This isn't about finding third-party companies to develop technology on your behalf, or is in charge of HR on your as a third-party company, but actually employed by the companies that you and I own, work for, etc. And that is a big game changer. But then there's the arbitrage factor that could be unethical. But
but I mean, it's sad that it took this long, right? I mean, the fact that, like you said, Hassan, right? I mean, it's not outsourcing to a firm in India or Estonia, right? The whole point is you're hiring full-time employees to stock up your skill sets that aren't available here. And you have every single technology to support this, whether it's Slack, whether it's Zoom, whether it's all the enablers of that trend. And now it's happening.
And culture as well. Like goal-oriented culture is such a big part, like I said.
Yeah. As opposed to FaceTime culture.
I was talking to this creative art director, and he was telling me that what he sees in the future, a lot of people are going to have multiple jobs in this setting. So working from home is going to give you that flexibility to have multiple positions working for different companies if you can manage your time better, because you don't have to physically be somewhere for 8 hours or 10 hours a day.
That's interesting.
No, I tell you something. Like,
so the workspace is gonna change.
I think our podcast is a perfect example of that. I think what fueled us to sit and give it enough attention
is having that flexibility.
Having the flexibility of time. Is that you've lost that commute time, you've lost that lunch time, so there are these little gaps now that you have in the day that you never had before, and you can dedicate your energy and your mind space. And can allocate it for that, rather than, doing that drive back where it's just kind of like a useless bit of your energy.
That's something we all don't miss.
Yeah,
the commutes,
the traffic jams in the commute
are ridiculous. Some places
finding parking. Do you remember finding parking?
Such
thing of the past.
That's so 2019. Get out of here with that nonsense.
I'm still paying 1,000 dirhams a month for my DFC parking.
That's unbelievable.
Wow.
They didn't give you no kind of discount or
no.
Are you going back to the gym? Are you guys going back to the gym? I'm still debating this idea. Are you doing it?
I'm on the fence.
Are
you know why? It's not about the microbe or germs or COVID. It's you get an hour, and if you're not done with an hour, you're done.
So we gotta put it out there. I think it's a really interesting setup that they've kind of incorporated in the country. I think it's a country thing more than anything else here, how they've done it, which is you slot in times. So you specifically tell your gym, I'm coming in at so-and-so o'clock.
Is that how it works?
Yeah. And you have a 1 hour window. So they max it out based on, what is it, 50%, I think, capacity, I think is what's accepted.
It's 50%, yeah.
50% capacity. You have that hour, you go work out, and you get out. I don't know, I'm kind of in between. I'm one of those guys that generally only works out when I'm in the gym. There's something about that environment, that atmosphere that kind of gets me motivated as opposed to home workouts. But I have been struggling with the idea of going out.
From a COVID standpoint.
Yeah, obviously. Like that interaction, it's very sweat, breathing.
No, for sure. There are risks.
But that has to be the activity and the environment that's the most viral.
I would imagine so.
I would imagine so as well too, yeah.
As opposed to a restaurant or a mall or...
Breathing, sweating, touching. For sure. It's got all the elements.
I think that's a really good point. So I think like the people that that we know in our circle that are going to the gym, they're probably the risk takers. Let's say the guys that are like, let's get at this thing. You know what I mean? I'm not scared. I'm going for it.
It depends on your environment as well. So if you're the right age and you live with people that aren't candidates to attract,
these things you have to consider, of course.
Yeah,
you have to consider. But again, let's say it's guaranteed 100% sterile.
Yeah.
When you go into the gym. The idea that you're putting an hour limit on me to do what I need to do, it is stressful. It becomes.
But do you work out longer than that? Do you spend more time? I don't.
It's yes and no. But having that 1 hour limit, I think it's an adjustment period. I think it's just a matter of adjusting. But
I think
for me, it's the amount of risk I'm taking right now versus the reward, it's more risk than reward at this stage.
But that risk is associated with the time slot, or is that risk associated with the
Both.
public?
Obviously, both.
No, for me, I think the time slot is irrelevant. Like I generally, I'm a very
You would be
diligent on
spending
time.
at least half of your time wiping down everything that you're going to touch before you touch it.
Is that on you to do? Oh, wow.
Well, this
Whether
is
it's
it.
on you or not, I'm still going to take the liberty of wiping
I
down
would,
everything
yeah,
touch.
I would wipe it down. I would imagine.
I used to
the
do that
location.
before.
Yeah, exactly.
have to.
I wouldn't change my natural behavior, which I was doing that anyways. And I could stay within the confines of an hour. I'm not worried about that. And I would imagine there's extra people that are doing additional wiping down.
Yeah.
So like I said, I don't know. My fear is just the interaction. It's just
So Peloton has been interesting. Have you followed that?
yeah, I kind of like Peloton. I'm not a bike person.
Yeah.
If it was like if they had a Peloton set up for the elliptical,
Yeah.
which is amazing for
Is that
my
the one
knees.
where it's the experience? You go through the trails and...
No, it's like an iPad. It's a class. It's an online class. You do live.
You buy the bike, you get a subscription,
Yeah.
and you do like the spin classes online.
What are you seeing on the screen?
You're seeing an instructor pumping you up, putting old school hip hop, 50 minutes.
Yeah. And she connects
Like
with you.
spin class.
So yeah, it's exactly
Yeah.
it's a spin class.
Yes.
And she sees who's online or he sees who's online.
Shout
So then he
outs.
can he can be like, "Yo, Hamdy in Dubai,
Yeah.
get that heart rate going." He can see how fast you're performing. So
They've blown up in the past couple of months.
It's
I mean, they
huge.
can't sell them fast enough.
I saw something on BBC the other day where they had professional cyclists and they're doing it virtually.
Okay.
And on the screen, you see everybody on the trail and how
Okay.
fast they're going and how far they're trailing behind. But for the cyclist at his home, he's seeing one screen and he sees where he's going and everybody that's behind him or in front of him.
interesting.
So it's a completely different setup for cycling. I don't know if that's the future of sport.
No,
Like Iron Man Island.
No, not at all. Look, I think there's certain things that are unreplaceable. Like the Tour de France is never going to be virtual. You know what I mean? Like that whole experience, the visual, the smells, those athletes, they're not going to want to drop that. Not now or not ever.
Yeah.
So I think that's always going to stay. But interesting on the Peloton. Peloton?
Yeah.
Peloton? Peloton.
Peloton.
Pelaton.
P-E-L-O-T-O-N.
Oh, Peloton. Okay. Interesting. And is it a publicly listed?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, it's done extremely well. It was doing really well.
And now I would
there's
imagine
this
it's just killing it.
steroids.
Do you have one?
I got a bike and I subscribed to the Peloton service. Ideally, you'd get their bike,
Okay.
but it's not available in the UAE. So I got a normal bike at home and I got the app and I pay a monthly subscription
Interesting.
and I put on the TV and I follow the class.
Cool. And you feel like it motivates you, like it gets you going.
It makes you more likely to do it and it makes you more likely to stay longer doing it.
Yeah.
Man, I love anything that's a SaaS model. I'm just such a huge fan.
Mhm.
Service,
Yeah.
monthly service.
My monthly service is just unbelievable, man. Subscriptions are just the way to go. And I think it's proven now in a business setting. The most successful companies all work on some
Because
form
the
of
old
subscription.
habits were not good, right? I mean, by making the old OS obsolete to make you buy the new one,
True.
rather just make it dynamic and just keep paying monthly.
Even gaming is
You're
going
getting a better
towards that
service.
now. Microsoft or Xbox is going online where you just buy the controller and you plug in this thing into your
Isn't it the same
HDMI.
Isn't it the same thing? Microsoft?
That's
Xbox?
Google.
It's Google. Sorry,
Google,
it's
yeah.
Google.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just like a Chromecast,
Yeah.
plug it into your HDMI, and then you log in, and all the games are online.
I mean, the way gaming has changed their economic models has been extremely interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Fortnite is crazy, right?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Skins.
The amount of
So
money they make
Speaking of
off of skins is unbelievable.
I literally buy my son a skin every week, and it's from
Unbelievable.
one thing to the other, and it's all about like clout. I didn't know what the word clout meant until I was like 35, right? And he's, oh, Dad, I can't be going in with my noob skin. You know what I mean? I need to go in with my new skin, and my gun's it's got to have this wrap. And the interesting thing is they're creating events within the game. So Zane comes up to me and says, "Oh, Dad, there's going to be a Travis Scott concert."
Yeah.
On Fortnite.
I
That was
seen
really
that.
cool.
I seen that. I
Yeah.
seen that.
I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah," and I didn't believe him. To be honest, I didn't believe him. And then he said, "Dad, please, I need to buy the Travis Scott skin." I'm like, you need to buy the Travis Scott skin for a game where you shoot people, but you're going to have a concert? He's like, yeah. So I bought him the skin, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. And this concert was amazing. They literally played all his songs, like obviously extracts of his songs.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing feature of like graphics and of Travis Scott and this whole thing. And all the players from all over the world are in this like concert arena, watching this thing, and he's loving it. And it took 20 minutes of his time, but he had a great time. It was. I just thought I'd tell you guys. Like this is blowing my mind.
It's so
Strange
genius.
time.
It's just
Strange time.
no, it's unbelievable. You give the game for free. You get people to pay for these add-ons, dance moves, or as they call it, skins, or like whatever, like outfits.
Raps.
All right, and then now they start to integrate things like concerts, right? Like what he's saying. It's just
The interesting thing is it doesn't affect the gameplay. So the first thing they tried to do is that it gives you an advantage if you spend money.
yeah.
What Fortnite pulled off, which is very impressive, is that it doesn't. You could literally spend
Brag
nothing and
rights.
get the exact same experience.
Just bragging rights.
It's only, it's a culture. It's
Clout.
yeah.
As Hassan said, clout.
It's really interesting.
Blood cloud.
Clout. No, man, it's
So when is FIFA going to become subscription based? You don't need a new FIFA every year. Just pay,
what do you mean? Oh, the game.
Yeah.
The game.
pay $5 a month and
Yeah.
it keeps updating.
Call of Duty is doing that now. Call of Duty Mobile.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just like PUBG.
Right.
You download it and you play. You want to add. They're following the model of these guys.
We went for decades without any innovation in a lot of things we do in our daily life.
Graphics.
But in the last 5 years, there's been amazing innovation
In gaming, you mean?
across the board.
You think so? Across the board? I think there's been so much innovation. It's just we don't recognize it. It just happens so gradually.
It was
that you just
stale.
can't-
I mean, if you look at what's come out in the last 5 years, the changes we're talking about to gaming, Uber, Tesla, Deliveroo. I mean, those are
Cryptocurrency.
size. Absolutely. I mean, these are seismic that we haven't seen. It was pretty boring for a while. I mean, the internet
I
did
think it's
nothing to us.
But the infrastructure of the internet has evolved. I remember not too long ago we were using dial-up.
GSM.
Man.
That's within our lifetime.
What's in Uber today? I mean, Uber took off a handful of years ago that couldn't have been done 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Smartphones.
Yeah, it's been 15
Man,
years.
dial up, guys. People don't. You youths right now, you teenagers specifically, I'm talking to you guys. You guys do not appreciate.
What do you mean? I'm 18, man.
No, you don't. They don't appreciate. I got to put it out there. You guys don't know what it was like as a teenage boy, and I'm putting it out. I hope you can read through the lines during dial-up time.
56 kilobyte. 56K.
Yeah.
56.6.
24. It started
28
at
and-
18.
18, exactly.
It went 18, 24, and then it went to 52.
Torture,
56,
guys.
sorry.
Torture. A picture would take like 5 minutes. It was like,
Forget video.
Yeah, and take
Oh
it
my
back
God.
another 5 years. Floppy disks.
Yeah.
yeah,
I remember when computers stopped creating computers with floppy disks.
Yeah.
exactly.
Ports.
And then they had the hard disk.
Yeah, and then CD came along, and it was
Yeah.
like, wow.
What did you have to disable before you did dial-up internet? Call
The phone.
waiting.
Yeah,
waiting.
call
Call
waiting.
waiting,
Exactly.
that's
Just call
exactly.
waiting would drop
That's
it.
Exactly.
Then they came up with these splitters.
exactly the splitter, is it?
Yeah.
So weird. That was university. Like that wasn't a long time
Yeah.
ago. We were in school
Yeah.
and we were doing
Yeah.
that.
We're old.
We are.
We're
We're not.
old.
Are we old?
We're older.
When
Dude,
I
I
got
don't know.
cable modem,
I mean,
Roger told me I'm one of the first customers to get cable
Broadband.
modem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that conversation. I think they just
How old
said
are you
that to
now?
everyone.
It was 98, I think, 99.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Last year of university.
The high Terra modems. I
Last year of
remember
high
those.
school. That was high school. Wow. I'm just. Oh, we're not getting old. Please don't say that. You guys feel like you're getting old? I don't feel old.
Old in the sense where some of these things are passing you by so quickly that you're like, okay, sure, it's not as important as it used to be when you used to be younger.
In terms of what technology?
Technology
and-
advancing. I mean, we still try to keep up as much as we can with technology.
Do you
but
feel like you're falling behind? Like
I
really?
can't use Snapchat.
Yes.
I don't know how to
Look,
use Snapchat.
Snapchat is dumb,
TikTok,
guys. I'm putting it out.
Snapchat.
Snapchat is dumb.
What is this?
to you,
What is
to us, it's dumb.
I can't use it.
But
No.
that's the thing. To us, it's
No, I
dumb.
think Snapchat is dying. I think I'm calling it right
TikTok?
now. Snapchat. No, I like TikTok. TikTok's good. There's entertainment. But Snapchat, I'm calling 2 years time. Snapchat doesn't exist. Completely useless. I think Instagram
I think the same
kind of captured it. I think TikTok kind of captured it. I think all the main players, the incumbents, or I think TikTok's not an incumbent.
What about
but TikTok's
Facebook? We had that chat about Facebook.
Who owns TikTok? Sorry, who owns TikTok?
Chinese.
It's Chinese.
Oh man, super smart. Love it. I'm down.
10 cent.
10 cents.
Tencent.
Okay.
Facebook. You go on Facebook now, and I'm like, okay, no, this is not
I hate
happening.
it.
This is
I
not
don't
happening.
use it.
Shut it down.
I don't use it.
By the way, just so you guys know how much we've committed to this podcast, I actually resubscribed or activated my Facebook account, which I killed for 7 years because I hate that freaking platform.
You know what's funny?
But I did it for you.
You know what's funny? Is since we started this podcast, we're back on Facebook. I never gave up on it, but it was sat dormant.
No, I killed my account.
So he set up the SIYL channel on Facebook. So and I didn't know that he actually did that. So I go on Facebook by coincidence and I see Namir, and I'm like, wait, didn't he quit like long time ago? So I go to his profile, and literally his last post was, I've been off Facebook for 6 years.
Yeah, I tried to give it a go.
I tried to give it a go, and nope, thank you very much. See you later.
That was like 4 years ago. I had been off for ages, and I'm like, you know what? I was seeing Besma on it, and I felt like I was missing out. I had a little bit of FOMO, so I came on and I did it for honestly, so maybe like less than 2 weeks, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this nonsense. I'm off this bitch. I can't handle it.
By the way, just a correction, guys. It's not Tencent. It's ByteDance.
ByteDance.
That own TikTok. Yeah.
I don't know them either.
fault.
Thank you for clarifying something I don't know already. Appreciate it.
But they own Instagram anyway.
Who?
Facebook.
Facebook, yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I just love, I like, for me, Instagram I connect to Instagram. I think, again, generational.
Yeah.
It's a picture, generally positive, nice and easy, straight to the point.
For me, it's just too cluttered.
It's-
The user experience. Forget everything else. It's just, you don't know where to go. And you're getting bombarded with all these things where you're like, I don't know if this is a friend or this is an ad or it's just too
Yeah, but
confusing.
Instagram's getting really sneaky with that as well, man.
But Instagram is like kind of like you're in the groove. You're just scrolling through. You can bypass most of these things.
But it's every 3, I think now,
it's
isn't
increased.
it? Every
The ratio is increasing.
3, every 3 swipes is an ad,
Yeah.
which
And
is unbelievable.
the other scary part is he's buying an outdoor pool. I'm sitting in the living room while he's talking about buying an outdoor pool. I've
And the
never
outdoor
searched for an outdoor
it
pool.
shows up.
I'm sitting at home, open my Instagram, and hey, you want to buy an outdoor pool?
It happened to me as well.
Like, what the hell?
It happened to me as well.
What the hell is
I was
going on?
talking about the outdoor pool, and then
Yeah.
it's been
My
showing.
phone picked it up.
It's been, guys, I bought the outdoor pool. It's done. Right? You don't need to pitch me or sell me anymore. It's
Stop
You
transaction
almost
is
wish you
finished.
can tell them.
Finish. I
Yeah.
can't get a second one. Is there any? Exactly. There should be a way to
tell them.
disable it. Like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm over it. Pick up some other new word. I don't know what it is. Whatever, you know.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
This is what I'm thinking of next.
Exactly. Think of something. Give me something new for them to fixate on. But it's weird. Like, I kind of look. I don't like it, but I like it because when you're in the search, there is a function to it, right? It kind of reminds you that you're on this mission to acquire whatever it is that you're acquiring, because every goddamn website that you go on, it's in your face. It's like in your peripheral vision, you know, just sitting there like, hey, remember me? You spoke about me earlier today.
It
Don't
keeps
you?
capitalism alive. We need it.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. But I think if it could be more useful information, I think that they haven't cracked that issue.
Yeah.
Like you just sitting there and stuffing an outdoor pool in my peripheral while I'm looking at the news.
And somehow they put a picture of you inside the pool, sipping a
If
margarita.
they could give me some like real good information, like if it could give me a graph and say that the difference or a comparison, pros and cons, this company, whatever, in my peripheral vision, it would be much more meaningful. But just sticking a goddamn outdoor pool, I've been looking at it. I get it. I'm gonna come back to it, but I'm trying to read the news right
you
now.
clickbaited me already.
Exactly. Like I'm done. I'm just want to see what's happening with, you know, when's Premiership gonna come back online? Like fucking hell. But Premiership
true,
is coming
Coming
back.
back online.
Talk about
Yeah.
That's it. I turned to Hamdy
That was
now. I'm
good.
like, it's coming. Right?
I think it's unfortunate. We almost got away with Liverpool not winning.
But there's going to be an asterisk. There's going to be an asterisk. We're a whole bunch of anti-Liverpool. Well, not anti-Liverpool.
Extreme anti-Liverpool in my case.
But you're a City fan?
I'm neutral.
But I remember you're a City fan.
Fine.
Are you? Is that fine? Like, it's not very convincing. Are you or aren't you?
It attracts negative comments when I admit it.
Let's imagine that you're not on this public platform and you're talking me and you. Are you a City fan?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So you started watching football 4 years ago? 5 years ago?
When did Abu Dhabi buy them?
That was a roast. You need to come back. You need to come back.
I think it's fair to say you're a longer Raptors fan than a City fan.
I am a Raptors fan and an
Through and
Iraqi
through.
national team fan. Those
like
are
it.
the only teams that I support.
All right.
So good. I like it.
All right.
We established this earlier, but I'm a Manchester United fan. So Hassan, you're a Manchester United fan through and through.
I am. I'm a Manchester United fan. Always have been since 1986.
Nice.
And just to clarify, but I'm also a Swansea City fan
Because
I
you lived
the
in
city.
Swansea, so you're loyal to.
I did live in Swansea, and I watched the meteoric rise of the Swansea City
True.
football club from the fringes of Division 2, well, not Division, League 2, all the way up to the Premier League. where
Wilfred
they had
Bonney. That was a great acquisition by
Wilfred
Man
Bonney.
City.
Fantastic. We did well.
Yeah,
Let's say
exactly.
we did well. City didn't do very well.
Oh man,
But he's lighting it up in Saudi now. So
is he? Oh, he's
Is he
playing
in
in Saudi
Saudi?
now. Okay.
Saudi,
Hilal?
I think it's Al Ittihad. Ironically, Al Hilal has a previous Swansea striker, which is Batifimbi Gomis, the guy who does the
Yes, the
Uh,
crawling
the
thing.
lion.
Yeah, the crawling. Thing.
And then Bonney was acquired by Al Ittihad,
Okay.
which are obviously Hilal and Ittihad are the two major rivals in Saudi. So yeah.
Oh, okay, crazy.
So what do you think of it? NBA is thinking of coming back late.
Look, I think everyone's gonna come back with no fans. I think it's happening.
And you think they should do that or just let it go and start again next
For
year?
for the sake of entertainment,
Yeah.
for the people that have been stuck at home and just kind of getting frustrated, I think it's worth it to do it and finish off the seasons. Like find interesting ways to kind of like I was listening to the NHL, so hockey NHL for the people in this region that don't know, where they're gonna jump into like a 2014 kind of playoff kind of setup, so something very specific to the current situation to try to wrap up the season quickly because of the time that they lost. I think most of the leagues should just do something like that and just kind of closure and then set yourself up for the next coming year, however you want to do it.
Because Damian Lillard, for instance, was saying that if we're not in playoff contention and they force us to come back, I'm not going to play.
Exactly, which makes sense. Why get injured?
So they're going to have
Why-
to get creative with the format they come back with.
And this is what I'm saying. Shorten up the season, change the parameters, kind of, get everyone excited.
But still make it fair to whoever's on the edge of making the playoffs.
Well, this is it, is that there's that balance. You want all of the teams to try. So you don't want the last place team to just give up because there's no mathematical way for them to make the playoffs.
So
But-
what's the point of the Premier League coming back? I mean, Liverpool's won it. What are we doing?
Well, this is what I think. Like I'm telling you, I think what's going to happen with the Premier League, like I struggle to see them. Are they going to play through summer? Is that what the
Yeah.
idea is? They're going to play the full 38 games? Like I don't know. I didn't get the details. I don't know if you guys Hassan, do you know what the details is of them coming back?
So the details. I mean, again, don't quote me on this, but from my lack of attention, I only read headlines these days. But they said something along the
Clickbait.
lines of, yeah, exactly. They said something along the lines that all 8 games will be played on one particular day, and they would try to wrap up the season as quick as possible. So
Okay.
potentially not wait on a week-to-week basis. But I mean, just to add to your point, I mean, I don't think that the title is what we're coming back for, but more so the relegators and the promoters, or the ones that will be
Champions
potentially
League.
promoted.
Yeah. Well, that's I think going to be the
And Champions. as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
the amount of money that's in that is just ridiculous, right? So there's a lot vested.
But what's going to happen with the Champions League now? I mean, they're talking about the leagues coming back.
Yeah.
But how are
Well, you can't
know,
travel, so that makes even more difficult. To
Yeah,
go
the
cross-border.
traveling challenges. I think the Champions League, they may just cut it.
But that's the most interesting one.
It
to
is the
come
most
back to.
it is the most
Yeah.
interesting one, but I would say just cut
Yeah.
your losses on the Champions League, focus on closing out the leagues, and then
Yeah.
just come and decide on how you want to set it up in the
Yeah.
future. I think that at least give a little bit of entertainment. Like I think right now, every athlete should just kind of see the importance of the entertainment element, right? For the people that have been stuck for the last 3 months, kind of just,
So do somersaults when you score.
exactly. Watching kind of reruns of bowling, just looking for sporting events to follow.
Curling.
Yeah, exactly.
Darts.
But respect to curling. I like curling. My roommate, my former roommate, Michael Berry. Shout out Michael Berry. I think he's in Kingston, maybe. He was initially in New York in the UK for a while. He's an archaeologist, extremely smart, the best Jeopardy player I've ever met. Just full of useless knowledge, man. Unbelievable. Super smart guy. Shout out to him. But he used to be a curler. So yeah, it was pretty cool. He had lots of ladies like chasing him, curling fans. It was crazy. There's a whole groupie scene to the curling world.
Is that exclusively Canadian?
No.
Curling?
Curling? No.
No.
There's I think all the Nordics,
Yeah.
they mess with it as well.
What about lacrosse?
America's big on
No,
it.
lacrosse is
Also
it's quite global.
Yeah,
It's also I think I
Like
think
the
generally
British
it's the Nordics. Like I think the Viking kind of characters are.
I would
into
support
hockey-
any
the hockey-
Toronto team. So if Toronto is playing lacrosse, I watch it and I support it.
True.
Yeah,
True. Shout out, guys. That was really cool, man.
it's a good one.
Just kind of breezed through it. As usual, thank you very much. Thanks, man. Thanks, Hassan, for joining us through Zoom from Barbados. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
But thank you guys. Thanks. Before we ended, I just wanted to thank all the amazing support you guys gave us on our last video. It's been kind of, under our in our world, it's been essentially going viral. So much love for that. Really appreciate it. We're hoping that we can continue on this vibe. As usual, like us, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad. Tell even those guys on Facebook, as I'm doing now, that I haven't spoken to in like 15 years. Tell them to join us. Much love. Really appreciate it. Next episode's going to have a very interesting person. He's a chef. Roberto is going to join us. He's Peruvian. He set up some concepts. So looking forward to that. Keep it up. Stay in your lane.